What if we told you that the most selfish thing you can do right now is to forgive? It sounds counterintuitive, doesn't it? We've been conditioned to believe that forgiveness is about the other person, about letting them off the hook for the wrong they've done. But what if the real power of forgiveness lies in what it does for you? When we forgive, we're not condoning or accepting. Instead, we're making a conscious decision to no longer let the past control our emotions or dictate our lives. This is where the idea of forgiveness being a selfish act was born. By forgiving, you're prioritizing your own well-being and mental health, and thus, finally doing what's best for you. This kind of selfishness isn't about ignoring others' feelings, but about taking care of your own heart so you can be your best self for everyone around you. But what does forgiveness truly even mean? Why is it so difficult to let the hauntings of the past rest? And how can we learn to extinguish the flame of justified resentment that kept us warm for so long? To truly understand forgiveness, let's start with a perspective from Steve Harvey, one that perfectly defines the essence of it. If you forgive a person, but hang on to the anger, the pain, and the hurt, then you don't understand what forgiveness really is. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It's for you. He explained the time-tested concept that holding on to resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to perish. The anger and bitterness only harm you, not the person who wronged you. Forgiveness is an antidote to this poison. It's a way to cleanse your soul and reclaim your peace. Because, as twisted as it is, resentment will not affect the person who wronged you. It will only further inflict harm on you. And this is why for many, this profound act of self-love will feel selfish and strange, even undeserving. Another common misconception about forgiveness is that it means forgetting what happened and setting yourself up for the same hurt again. This couldn't be further from the truth. Forgiveness is about emotional release, and far from the idea of erasing the memory or condoning any behavior that caused you pain. It's more about freeing yourself from the emotional shackles of the past and choosing not to let those events control your present and future. The beauty of this is that you can forgive someone and still choose to protect yourself from future harm by setting healthy boundaries. But that leaves an obvious question. Why is it so difficult for us to let go, reclaim our power, and pardon the past? The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. Forgiveness is no easy feat. It's a grueling journey, with many obstacles along its mountainous path. One of the biggest barriers to forgiveness, if not the greatest, is the lack of an apology for the wrongdoing and hurt. It's human nature to feel that forgiving someone without an apology is unfair, as it feels like letting the wrongdoer off the hook. And it's understandable that it helps the healing process. An apology acknowledges the harm done and can give you a sense of validation or closure. Without it, the pain feels unresolved, making it harder to let go. However, holding out for an apology can keep you trapped in a vicious cycle of resentment. And it removes your power by putting your healing in the hands of someone else. The key is to recognize that forgiveness is a gift to yourself, independent of the other person's actions or remorse. Another major barrier is the feeling of power that comes with holding tight to a grudge. But this sense of power is misleading and controlled by our protective ego. Harboring resentment will ultimately lead to bitterness and emotional exhaustion, turning you into a prisoner within your own mind. The internal conflict ever wages. Between feeling weak for forgiving and feeling empowered for not forgiving is challenging, to say the least. To overcome this, we must ask ourselves, is it possible to overcome the past and learn the difficult process of forgiveness? And what are the dangers of holding on to the comforting destruction of anger and resentment? Forgiveness is an incredibly powerful tool for personal freedom. When you forgive, you release yourself from the grip of heavy emotional burdens like anger, sadness, and depression that drain the joy from your overall quality of life, even if that forgiveness needs to be yourself. As Louise Hay used to say, The act of forgiveness takes place in your own mind. It really has nothing to do with the other person. This choice gives you back control over your life. With this bold decision, you reclaim your power and assert control over the memories of your past. This shift empowers you to move from being a victim of circumstances to the author of your own story, focusing on your growth and well-being instead of being consumed by painful memories. Moreover, it gives you the strength to build stronger, healthier relationships by letting go of the past grudges and opening up to trust and love again. When you forgive, you not only benefit yourself in a beautifully selfish way, but you also create a ripple effect that positively impacts those around you. When you heal, so does the world. This act of letting go creates space for new, positive experiences to flourish and allows you to live a more balanced and fulfilling life. Because forgiveness is not about the person who wronged you. It's about liberation from the past and the power it held over you. And as we'll briefly discuss next, there is scientific evidence that anger and resentment pose dangers to not just our minds, but physical bodies too. It's been said that resentment, or unforgiveness, is akin to a soul-consuming cancer. Left unchecked, it slowly and silently erodes your mind, like a vile acid affecting every aspect of your life, especially the positive areas. From a medical perspective, holding on to resentment and anger can seriously harm both your body and mind. Physically, chronic anger keeps your body in a state of stress, or flight or fight, leading to increased levels of anxiety, high blood pressure, and headaches. Stress hormones like adrenaline and cortisol flood your system, heightening the risk of heart attacks and strokes. And as Lewis B. Smedes wrote, "Forgiving does not erase the bitter past. A healed memory is not a deleted memory. Instead, forgiving what we cannot forget creates a new way to remember. We change the memory of our past into a hope for our future." Making a conscious decision to forgive is a pivotal moment in your life, and it's no easy feat. Start by acknowledging and accepting your feelings. Understand that everyone struggles with this, and that these emotions are a natural part of the process. Reflect on what still angers you, and begin to visualize physically releasing the negative emotions of anger, resentment, or sadness. This reflection will help you reconnect with these memories in a healthier way, and can be done through journaling or talking to a friend. Many find comfort in seeking the advice and guidance of professionals. Everyone's path is unique. Finally, visualize a future where you are free from resentment, focusing on how forgiveness benefits your overall well-being. The process of forgiveness is made slightly easier when you look at your hurtful memories like the ravings of a madman. They are not meant to be understood, only acknowledged, and then let go. The act of forgiveness is the act of returning to present time. And that's why when one has become a forgiving person and has managed to let go of the past, what they've really done is they've shifted their relationship with time. Carolyn Miss. Forgiveness, above all else, is a profound act of self-love. Remember, the most selfish thing you can do for yourself is to find peace and forgive. After all, it is the moment you begin to live for yourself and not the memories of the past. By letting the past rest with a lighter ease, you free your soul from the shackles of anger and resentment. It is the moment you realize you deserve to live life free from the vast and endless void. Jonathan Lockwood said it best: "Forgive others, not because they deserve forgiveness, but because you deserve peace." See you soon, curious soul.